Good morning, everybody. Welcome once again to another edition of One-on-One Live. I'm Mark Jeffries along with Gary Judici. And, gee, we're going to have a good one today. Two friends turning into enemies today on the wall.
Why, they will be. I tell you, this is going to be a kind of a battle to the death deal.
Yeah.
These guys are great. You kind of threw me a curve on this one. You know, I thought it was going to be Lake A, and it ended up being Lake Z.
We're going to call it Lake Z today.
Yeah, a little private lake, little 1,000 acres. That's not little. That's big. For two guys, it's perfect.
Yeah,
you know?
So Mike McClelland versus Jeff Kriet on a body of water, Gary, that really has everything. It has grass, it has tules, it has rock. They're going to catch them shallow. They're going to catch them deep. It should be very, very entertaining.
You know, there's a lot of limestone type outcroppings. They call them tombstone outcroppings the way they lay, and those fish will get off on those ledges, and it'll be great. I don't know how they're going to catch them. The water's hot. It's going to be warm. We'll just have to wait and see. The two anglers don't fish the same. And so that's going to be fun. Just see what works.
They've been around each other forever, though. All right, and we're going to take a look at their stats here shortly. But I want people to get a look at the body of water that they're going to be fishing on. It's in southern Oklahoma. We're going to call it Lake Z. So here's kind of a quick peek at what they're going to be fishing, Gary. As I mentioned, we called it Lake Z. A ton of grass and just vegetation everywhere. There's rocks. The water clarity is clear to stain, and there's even some muddy water on it.
Up in those little arms, there might very well be. It's in the middle of the day for all practical purposes. It's very warm here in Oklahoma, windy. I don't know how well a frog bite's going to work. We'll see. I'm sure somebody will be throwing it. But I look for more of the guys being off the edges. We'll just have to wait and see. I don't know. If I were fishing this lake, I don't know what I'd do to start. I'd flip those ridges. I flip those cattails. What would you do?
Dude, I have no idea. I just talk about them. I don't catch fish anymore.
Well, yeah, but
I have no idea.
That's a shame. I don't know where I'd start. I'd probably start in those dadgum cattails because I'm a sucker for those. But I'd be looking forward to moving offshore and maybe slowing down a bit and drop shotting. I don't know. These guys are so good, both these guys.
All right, here's what the conditions look like, Gary. Sunny to partly cloudy. You may have a few clouds roll in there. We had some thunderstorms that rolled through the area last night. Not a whole lot of rain or anything. Air temp 75. It's going to be 90 degrees. It's going to be hot by the time they get to the second half of this thing. Water temp 75 to 81. The clarity stain to clear, and the lake level right now is normal.
Well, it's I can't wait to get started. These guys are great.
All right, let's do this. Let's take a look at their stats, and I want to bring up Mike McClelland's stats first. Both of these guys, Gary, they are members of the $1 Million Club. Both of them with career earnings over $1 million. Mr. McClelland, he is pushing $2 million at $1.8 million. 11 Bassmaster Classic appearances, 8 wins, 4 second-place finishes, 31 top 10 finishes, and a stat that I like to look at all the time. Out of 247 events, he's cashed a check 136 times.
That is an amazing stat, folks. I'm telling you what. You gotta, if you're going to be good at this, you've got to make about 50%. You're going to make money.
Yeah,
and that's the minimum. If you're going to do well at this, well, these guys obviously do very well at this.
All right, let's take a look at Kriet. Once again, a member of the $1 Million Club, almost $1.2 million in earnings, 8 Bassmaster Classic appearances, 1 win, 4 second-place finishes, 19 top 10s, and when you look at his cash stats, 126 out of 240. Very similar. The percentage is really close to what Mike has.
This is going to be a match. If you had to peg it, what type of fishing is better for Kriet?
I think slow and methodical.
Soft plastics.
Yeah, a lot of soft plastics. I think we're going to see that a lot today. Mike, I think Mike is a little bit more active is the adjective that I might describe.
Jerk baits, spinner baits. That's where he has done so well, but he's not going to be able to do that here. He's going to have to slow down and fish, I'm afraid. It'll be a soft plastic deal for him as well. Not
Absolutely.
that he can't do it. He can do it very well, but it's going to be fun.
All right, we're going to kick things off, Gary, with Mike McClelland. We're going to go to his shot first, and we're going to get both of these guys set up. Let me explain the rules real quick. Both anglers, they have 90 minutes, 2 90-minute halves to make stuff happen. Every single fish counts as long as it is over 1 pound. All right, they're going to weigh it. It's going to be MLF style. Total weight, not best 5, but total weight over the 90-minute period. That's going to be the winner. And from what I understand, there's a little grip on the line here. I don't know if it's $500 or $1,000. We may be able to find out as we go what the wager was. But the winner, we will have a summary. The other thing is they're going to get a 15-minute halftime break to do whatever they want to do, but fish. They can't fish if they want to idle around and look at some stuff, but they're not allowed to fish in between the first half and the second half at halftime. So if they want to make an adjustment, that's the time to do it.
All right. Help me through this. What time do they start fishing?
As soon as I tell them.
Gee, Minnie, here we go. And how long do they fish?
90 minutes.
And then 15-minute break, and then 90 minutes again.
That is correct.
And then, are they going to show us what baits they're using?
Yeah, they'll give a summary, and they'll talk about the patterns and all that and everything. And then the winner will actually get both guys on kind of as a post-game show and go from there and get their thoughts on what went down over the previous 90 minutes.
Great. Well, I don't think I have to worry about them catching anything. That's not a problem. I think it's going to be who does the best and who executes and who can figure this out. What a good lake. I wish I was there fishing. This sitting in here in the studio sucks.
All right, we're going to sit back, folks. We're going to be in studio. We're going to watch what goes down. But this day is about the two guys that are on the water. So hopefully we will see some action, and very excited to see what goes down. So we're going to get ready to start these guys, and we're going to be on McClelland first. So let me get things queued up, and we are ready to roll, Gary.
All right.
We're good? You know, one thing about it, Jeff said last night that he was worried about me taking off and covering water, and that's really what I plan on doing until he gets something going. I just saw him jerk already, and I'm not even to the fish yet. It's not a good thing. There is definitely some grass growing. Biggest thing about it, I mean, you got to mix it up and try to figure out what's happening. Oh, that's pretty grass. You talking to me? My audio what? What's wrong with it? Oh, I'm on? You know, so probably the biggest thing is, you know, as we talked about yesterday, I mean, this is a lake that just everybody can't fish. I mean, it's got a lot of fish in it, but it's a lake you got to fish at. I mean, it's got a lot to offer. You can see there's coontail, there's different kinds of vegetation. You've got reeds along the bank to flip. There's been a little rain, you know, lately, so I'm assuming the water's a little up in this area right now. I know there was a lot of rain came through here last week, and water seems like it's got great color, and just going to have to move around and mix it up until we figure out what they want. thing about it, you know, you would have loved to have started at daylight here. There would have for sure been, you know, like a buzz toad bite, a buzz frog. I mean, a lot of different things would have probably worked early, but starting this time of the day, you kind of feel like you're behind the 8 ball a little bit as far as what these fish are doing. Basically trying to cover some water. I'm throwing a swim jig and a swim jig with a big bite battle bug, swim jig with a cane thumper.
Gosh, that's a big one, dude. You see that, dude? Big and blew up right there, dude. Got one on the cane thumper. Oh.
Tell me that it says 0. $112. Struck blood first. Dude, I promise you that one that I saw was bigger. Maybe I big at him, but yeah, that's good. That's what you want. I mean, McClelland's a slow starter, but he's a strong finisher. That's a fact. That's why he wins a lot. It takes him a little longer to dial in, but once he gets dialed in, man, he's pretty dangerous. That fish came up chasing shad. There's just so much grass, you know. I mean, you catch a big one, maybe flipping, but I'm gonna find a wad of them out here in this grass. Just don't know this is the right color. Looks pretty. God, grass looks good. I think there'll be a color, man. I mean, that was shad cut. I'm gonna try it. Watermelon red. I mean, I think if I can figure out the color, I'll get way ahead of him. And then flip up some big ones. I mean, that's just how it is. Most of the time, it's they're either on shad or they're on perch, you know. That's a good stretch right there, man. Get in front of him.
You know, one thing about it, I mean, Kriet's already got one. He said he was worried about me getting out to a start, but, you know, he's got the home field advantage. I mean, there's no denying that he's fished this lake way more than I've ever thought about being on it. I mean, I've been on it one time. I came down and threw a jerkbait here one year with him, and that's it. But, you know, it's got a lot to offer. I know it's got a lot of fish in it just based on what he's told me and the experience I had down here, so it's cool to be able to fish somewhere this time of the year where you really feel like your opportunities are good to catch a good one. bass bite. You know, a lot of people ask all the time, you know, that everybody thinks that we as full-time anglers always have stuff to fish with that the everyday guy doesn't, and there is some truth to that at times. You know, today we're actually prototype testing some baits that we've been working with Big Bite on. I mean, we've got a 4-inch flipper tube. We've got some new buzz toads that are just getting ready to be available from Big Bite, and you know, it is pretty cool to be able to throw stuff that other people don't necessarily have their hands on all the time. This flipping tube is by far the softest, saltiest tube that's been on the market in a long time, and that's something that, you know, we've all been after for a long time. Water temperature's 82 degrees. Fish gotta be hungry. So many things to throw at. Got to get that first bite or two to figure out what they want to be on, though. It's always the key.
Yeah.
I think as warm as that water is, these fish should start moving out and getting out on this outer grass for sure.
Man, there's a ton of grass, man. I mean, the question is going to be whether you can punch them out of that stuff. Right now, I'm just winding a cane thumper around, trying to find the area. I mean, usually when you have this much grass, they're going to be balled up somewhere. You know, you'll catch 4 or 5 out of one little patch.
Now that grass might not be as decent as I thought. He just did the grass. Ain't bad though. Looky there. Looky there, looky there. Vibrating jig with the old cane thumper on it. Zero. 2 pounds, 7 ounces, 2.7, got it?
Confirmed.
Take that! 2.7. Oh Lord, they're over here. That is fun now. Maybe just leave these scales on, huh? Zero?
Yeah.
£1 pound, 6 ounces.
Confirmed.
You know, the whole thing about this time of year, I mean, when these fish get done spawning, water warms up, and you got a lake like this that's got this grass in it, they are going to bunch up somewhere. Somewhere they're going to bunch up. Grass scattered everywhere out there. I feel like I'm fishing Major League Fishing, trying to keep them from touching the carpet and everything. My scale come on. Is it on? Am I not seeing it?
No, it's not on.
What's it?
All right. Road. $1.15. Mike hit I mean, that's how fish do in grass. I mean, there's a lot of grass out here. You have to cover a lot of it, but when you hit them, you'll catch, I mean, you might catch 10 in a row, and he's obviously found a good patch of grass. It's early. I just caught one. I went back to the shad color, you know, and I immediately got a bite, so I just, this match will be back and forth. The trick is going to be catching a 5-pounder.
What are you winding and changing?
I'm throwing a right now, like one of my favorite baits to find fish is a big bite cane thumper. It's just a minnow type bait. You can rig it Texas rig. I usually throw a 3/16 and just, you know, throw it and wind it like a spinnerbait. You know, when they bite it, you know, the trick is, the first bite I had, I was all antsy and he bit it and I jerked. You just keep winding until you load them up and lean into them. It just catches a lot of fish. You know, I throw this way more than I throw a spinnerbait on the tour or anywhere I fish. I do think that if a guy can find a flipping stretch, he's gonna catch some big ones. me. Big old carp. Carp. Big one. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how I feel about this. Flipping these, it's, you know, when you got this much grass, they usually want to be in that. They want to be in that coontail, or. But man, if I can get a bite in this cattails, it'd probably be a big one. I'm just not feeling it, but. God almighty.
5'7".
Huh?
311 to 5'7".
Yeah.
He's got 5'7".
Okay. All right. I mean, I would just think at some point, uh-oh.
Come on, bass. Like I said, it happens fast when it happens, and then it could go dead for an hour. Zero. £2, 1 ounce.
2-1.
2-1.
You have 7-8.
That puts me at 7-8. That one absolutely crushed it. Worked my way outside this outer edge now, and I'm out in about 6.5 foot of water with the grass. It actually formed a little edge out here now. A little more scattered. Work our way around the outside of it, and then we'll move back up in it. You know, one thing about this little lake is just the simple fact. I mean, it's a fairly good sized lake. I mean, it's going to take a while to move around on it and actually figure out what's going on. I mean, I know from the one time I was here, it seems like grass only grows up in this upper end good. The lower end of it's got more rock and a little steeper banks, some boat docks and things like that. So it's one of those situations where I want to take advantage of what's here right now and try to catch as many of them as I can and try to duplicate it. But it may be that, we have to totally switch up when we start moving down the lake. I just, we both chose to start up in this upper end of it, and I just want to try to catch as many of them out of here as I can before he gets down this way. I mean, the thing about it, from fishing Major League Fishing, and now that these one-on-one deals have started taking off, there's so many lakes across the United States that we'll never fish a major tournament event on because of the size. But, some of these lakes like this are the best lakes to just go out and absolutely have a blast on, Everybody always wants to go to the big name lakes and fish. Man, I like to find those little off-the-wall lakes outside of little towns and things like that, and they can be some of the funnest ones there are to fish.
Man, I know there's a lot of fish out there in that grass, but I guarantee if I get bit flipping these cattails, it's gonna be a big one. They gotta get in this stuff, or I'm gonna be able to punch them at some point. This water's not, when there's this much grass, these cattails aren't gonna be as good. But I just feel like I can catch a 5-pounder and get ahead of him. Flipping the new Big Bite 2, it's really soft.
You guys both kind of picked the same area of the lake to start in?
Yeah, we picked the same area of the lake to start in because when we were sitting there, God, dogs just got bit. Jeez, they're finicky. Because you can see the grass. You can see big old mats of grass, That's bass fishing 101, man. Those fish like that grass, everybody knows that. And they'd rather be in that kind of vegetation than anything. It doesn't matter where you are. And that's where the biggest groups of them are going to be, He just picked a little bit better deal, and it's by luck, I've had a couple of bites that I did not. I just had one. I guarantee you that was a big one that hit me. I'm hoping maybe some of this shade will come into play, I need a flipping bite and get me. Throw a little chatterbait around there for a minute, cover some water. There's so much grass you could really, you're about hitting it everywhere. I don't know if he may have caught those fish flipping that grass. There's a bunch of them in it, I promise you. That's how you catch a giant. Okay. Good grief, there's a bunch of bait right here in front of me. He's hooked up again.
Yeah, he'll be a pound. Caught that on a swim jig with a cane thumper. Zero. He's gonna be pound 3. No, pound 4. 1-4. 1-4. 1-4. He was right up on top of that grass. Thought it was a gar the way he bit it. I mean, he come up on. Oh, dadgummit. Came up on top of that grass to get it. Found me a little wad of them. Found me a little wad of them. I did. I just can't get him to bite something moving. See if they wanted to come up on top of that stuff, they'll bite this toad. Oh, that looks good. Are you gonna just cut me off? Might not be a good idea. You know, I think the biggest thing with what's going on today, I mean, the wind's blowing pretty good. When we put the boats in this morning, we both saw the grass growing out here. I mean, I saw it yesterday when I drove out here and took a picture of the lake, and it's just one of them deals. I mean, you want to start in those high percentage areas. I mean, yeah, I want to fish the whole lake or as much of it as I can, but it's just hard to turn this kind of stuff down this time of year. You know these fish have, I mean, they've been done spawning for a month and a half, but you know, it's one of those deals where they're not going to go very deep as long as they've got all this shallow vegetation around to get in.
I'm getting beat right now. Still early. Need to find me a little magic stretch. Put some numbers up. A lot of bait. Looks good. I got to figure out whether I need to flip him or wind something through it. He's being sneaky. I couldn't tell what he's doing. I don't know if he's flipping or winding. That's the whole deal in that grass, man. There's something they'll bite. We got to figure out what the dynamic of it is. I've had 4 bites on this cane thumper of this color, but I don't know if it's the one. Huh?
What kind of grass?
Man, it's a bunch of coontail.
reel up.
Okay. One bite. One bite. And this place got them. It's gonna be finding a patch of them. I'd be maybe messing up leaving that corner. And there's a bunch of fish out there. I had 3 or 4 bites I missed. God, dogs. That's bad right there. That was totally me. Just being stupid, unprepared. That fish hit it and my drag completely slipped. God, you dummy. You want to let him win? Wow. You can't miss him, man. I mean, every one of these could be a giant. I mean, he freaking plowed it. Not very good. Some of this grass too just isn't right to punch. That was definitely, I mean, I've had 3 that I should have caught that I didn't catch.
You know, basically, I feel like most of the bites I've had have been out here in this 5 to 6 foot range. Every time I've pushed up by the bank, I really haven't had a bite at all. And I'm going to just kind of start working down this flat and fish this outer edge of this grass and see if I can keep it going. I actually would like to cut across, which is what I'm thinking right now. I'll let Kriet get around me. He's headed down this south shore. I mean, there's so much grass out here, they could be anywhere. I mean, one thing about it, going back to, you know, Major League Fishing stuff, I mean, I pretty well feel like, I mean, Kriet wants to slow down and flip and pitch and things like that, so I really feel like, you know, if I'll just pay attention to the camera, the scoreboard, I'll have a good idea if they start getting off this moving bait. Zero. You can't deny that that isn't fun. 115.
115, confirmed.
I mean, he clubbed it. Came through a big old water grass right there, and he got it. You know, I really am shocked that they're biting the moving bait as good as they are right now. I mean, the wind always helps. I mean, anytime you got wind, they're going to bite a moving bait throughout the day a little bit better. I mean, The moon phase we're on right now, I think, is another big deal. I always check the moon phases every day before I fish, and I mean, we're in a period right now where the fish are really moving a lot, feeding a lot during the course of the day. So I mean, it should be a good day of fishing most of the day. There's only like one little lull somewhere around noon, and then it picks back up. So I mean, I'm gonna keep throwing this thing as long as I can get a bite every now and then, or until he starts catching them and forces me to slow down. I mean, there's bait still moving around out there, and as long as bait's moving around, there are definitely going to be some fish to be caught.
Now, does it help you, the fact that you know what he's got?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, anytime you fish an event like this or Major League Fishing, being able to know what the guy you're up against or the group of guys you're up against has, I mean, it can definitely have an effect on how you fish. Like I said a while ago, when I've fished around Kriet enough that I know, you know, he wants to pick something up and flip and pitch and slow down if he can, because, I mean, you're going to get bigger bites eventually doing that. But as long as I can keep this thing working, I don't want to slow down. I'm just kind of hovering out here on the edge of this grass. I mean, the boat's sitting in about 8 foot of water, and that grass seems like it's growing out to about 5.5 or 6 foot deep. And there's just little isolated clumps of it out here, and that's what those fish are relating to right now. All right, I'm cutting across.
Just that grass, you know, when you're flipping that grass, you gotta, there's gotta be a canopy. And a lot of times when it first grows up, it's not a very good canopy. It may be more on the edges of it, you know. Flip the clumps instead of through the clumps. We'll get bit on this windy side, I think. Well, I thought that fish would be bigger than that, but that's a flipping bite in the grass, and I like it. It's just a skinny one, but man, you start getting bit in that stuff. I'll catch we'll catch some giants. All right, somebody's gonna catch a giant today. 115. That's about my number right now, is for 115. But I really am gonna tell you, I enjoyed flipping that fish out of that grass. There's probably no way I'd rather catch him than that. I might need a bigger bait, you know, just that little ditch craw. This is my favorite punching bait, but I think I need a bigger profile. That fish hit it when I popped it, you know. That's just it's a little craw. I mean, that's one of my favorite punching baits right there, the ditch craw. Just small profile, goes through the grass good. I knew there'd be one out there. I mean, there had to be. Big old isolated clump out in the middle of nowhere like that, you know. We can get this going, I'm gonna own him. So I'm gonna catch big uns.
Halfway through the first half, your thoughts?
You know, I got off to a little slower start than I wanted to. You know, he got a little flurry in, you know. But I mean, there's going to be more flurries. I just can't let him have 2 or 3 flurries and not have one myself. You know, he's a good fisherman, man. Once he figures it in, he's tough. But I think this punching's going to play. I think I can catch some big ones doing it. gonna flip this for a little bit longer, and I'm gonna go to, like I said, a bigger bait. You know, that fish wasn't. I mean, he was more on the edge. He wasn't just dead smack in the middle of it. There's plenty of depth in this stuff. Boy, you burn time doing it. But if you get the right bites, I'll have some giants. I mean, there's bait all on this windy side. You know, those fish, I mean, it's already getting hot, you know, and those fish, you know, this morning, I'm sure you could have just, you know, all you had to do was wind something around this grass, but as the sun comes up, they're going to bury in the middle of it for shade, you know, and I feel like that, you know, we started pretty late, so I think these fish are going to move into this stuff. I may be doing it too quick. Now the wind will keep them active, but boy, it makes a big, when the sun's out like this, there's going to be some fish balled up in this stuff. And typically, if you can catch them like this, you're going to catch the right ones. I mean, you're going to catch some big ones. I mean, that one bite could have thrown me off though, you know. I mean, I really like to catch them like this. It's kind of a weakness to.
Tell me when. You're good. You know, one thing about it, I mean, we're halfway through the first period. I decided to make a little move. Kriet and I basically started in about the same area of the lake. When we first got here, I noticed that, you know, this east side of the lake's going to stay shaded a little bit longer, and I wanted to take advantage of that before the sun gets too high. You know, just the opportunity to fish shade lines like this time of the day can be a big deal. I mean, I fished through that section of grass and kind of got to the end of it and felt like it was time to make a move. So here we are on the east side of the lake now. The wind is blowing.
Yep. Huh? How about that? God dang, wrong way. I like it, boys. They're getting in there. That one was in dead smack in the middle. A little fatty. We're going to beat a 115 on that one. Two five. Perfect. Dude, that's starting to get my blood pumping, I'm going to tell you right now. Yeah. Dude, if you don't like flipping grass, something's wrong with you. Dude, that's like... Dude, I flipped in there and man, I mean, he like humped it up, you know what I mean? That's how you want him to bite it. Now I know I can go back through where I started and punch him. I'm gonna catch a 5-pounder in a minute, you mark my words. Guarantee you I'm fixing to catch a big one. Dude, he's in the middle of it, where he's supposed to be.
7:15 to 10:11.
Okay. I thought he was going to be a giant, man. had high hopes that I had me a 5 or 6 pounder right there. Like my bait is like, this is different than that, some of that over there. My bait's, you know, when I bust through, it's falling clean, you know. If it's falling through clean, they got a canopy. If they got a canopy, it's just all about making enough flips. When you wish you had 8 arms and you could throw more than one bait at a time. In a team tournament, man, I'd punch and have somebody else just winding something, you know, non-stop. Huh?
You know, one thing about it, I mean, you can see how fast things can change. I mean, Kriet's moved back within, what, less than 3 pounds of me, and I decided to make a move across the lake, and I hope I'm not sorry for it. The other thing I was saying is this is actually going to be a pretty good little tune-up for Kriet and I getting ready to go down to the Sabine. I mean, there's no doubt the Sabine's going to fish. You know, it's going to be a power fishing deal. I mean, you're going to pick up a you know, vibrating jig, a lot of plastics, a lot of moving baits and cover water. I mean, it's not going to be one of those tournaments where you pick a spot and go fish it. You're going to have to cover a lot of water. So, I mean, this is a good tune-up for things like that. These little isolated clumps. Man, how can there not be a bass there? Man, I don't know what we used to do before we had power poles. I mean, can you imagine trying to fish something like this in this kind of wind without a power pole? Some more?
Yeah.
Did he catch another one? You know, I mean, these are the kind of places that you can really tune things up on. I mean, like I keep saying, it's just awesome to be able to come to a smaller lake closer to, you know, a metropolitan area or something like that where they don't get fished a lot of times. You know, everybody wants to go to these big lakes. And I mean, when I lived at home there, or when we lived in Bella Vista there, we sold our house now, but I mean, that was my tune-up. Every time I got ready to leave to hit the road to go to an event, I'd go to some of those little Bella Vista lakes and fish. And I mean, it's just unreal how just being on the water and catching fish keeps you in that mode where if you're not spending time on the water, you're not tuned into what should be going on. Just don't want to be in that bank vegetation. They want to be out there in that deeper grass, and I don't know if there's any of it down here. A little bit of it starting to show up right there.
So what kind of grass are you keying on?
You know, the grass that I'm keying on here, and I've never been a grass expert, I'm going to be honest with you, but I think most of this is milfoil. It doesn't look like, you know, it's not what you would call hydrilla. It's definitely that, you know, coontail or milfoil kind of looking grass, maybe coontail. It's one of the two, either milfoil or coontail, but it's green, it's growing, it's pretty, and the fish want to be in it, that's for dang sure. I mean, anytime you got vegetation like that, these fish are going to get in it when they get off the bank.
Full screen U, 3, 2, 1.
Okay. Man, I'm just kind of punching around this grass. I am going to tangle with about a 5 or 6 pounder any flip. I feel it. I mean, it's coming. I just got to be ready and get him. Bait in here. Come on. Gotta be one. Deep. Where are you at, fish? Huh? Man, I think a lot of these fish may not be in the grass and just around it. And, you know, I went to a half ounce because there's, you know, some of these cattails are clean. So I'm trying to dial it in. I'm not dialed in yet, you know, and I know that once I dial them in, it's gonna get ugly. A lot of times, you know, it's the size of the weight, you know. I mean, not necessarily even the bait. So I've got like 4 different flipping rods on with, you know, I've got like a quarter, a 5/16, a 3/8, a half, a 1 ounce, and a 2 ounce. You know, and I don't think I'm really around a bunch of fish right now, but it may be around the corner. You know, there's going to be there's going to be a stretch of grass that they're in. I mean, every bass isn't in the clump that McClelland hit, and I'm going to find the next one. This is the big bite fighting frog, which, I mean, dang, everybody fishes. I mean, it's just a bass catcher, you know. It catches a lot of fish. Dude, I can make a mess of a boat, huh? I mean, that's pretty good right there. I'm actually going to catch one up there off that point. You may catch 2 or 3. Come on, fish. I know you're in there. There's no way there's not a bass in there.
It's a pretty decent one. Still biting the old cane thumper. Zero. 2-1.
2-1.
Man, I knew there had to be one here. It's too perfect for them not to be. I mean, coming up on a little point. Mixture of vegetation. I mean, you can see the grass change right here. I mean, right there you got coontail, you got these rushes by the bank, and then there's actually some what I call pepper grass growing right here on this point. So, I mean, anytime you get a mixture of vegetations, it's definitely a place you want to slow down and fish a little bit. He didn't bite it quite as aggressive as them other ones had been. Jeff caught any more?
No.
No? Come on, fish. Oh, look at him out there. The little point right there rolls off, and there is a mess of them sitting out there off that point right there.
That last fish put my cat.
$13 even?
You know what
Right?
You know what that last fish put my cat weight wise?
Should be 13 even, shouldn't it?
You're 12-12.
12-12.
Got me buried in the grass. Not big ones, but I really think the big ones are going to get in that grass, man. That second period may be the 0. I'll take them all. Yes.
115.
Man, that seems like that's the average today, huh? Which I guess isn't bad for 100-degree weather, but boy, he freaking smoked it, man. God, he crushed it. Hopefully there's a bunch of them in there. That was back on that cane thumper. I was just fixing to switch colors, you know. 1/8 ounce, 4/0 trocar, and I don't peg the weight. Just wind it steady. I mean, that's the deal. You don't do anything with it. You just wind it steady. I like the fact that I got bit right there because there's liable to be, I might flip a couple out of that, you know. I mean, I was just fixing to go back to go to a green pumpkin or something. There should be another one. I mean, look off that like little point of grass right there. There's a lot of scattered grass through here, man. I expect to catch a couple more. I really do. Want to fish? That's good. Lucky I didn't lose that fish, man. He got me down in there, and this is 15-pound fluorocarbon's all this is. Let's freaking catch a big one. There's got to be a fish in here somewhere. Pretty thick though. Where I had those bites before, it was a really good canopy. I mean, that stuff fell, my bait fell really good through it. The reason why I'm not flipping all these cattails is because the grass has grown up all the way, you know, to the cattails. I mean, I think if I can find a clean stretch of it, you know, probably, you know, you can flip some out of that. I'm gonna have to go to my heavy weight. Go to a big
scattered coontail, milfoil, or anything in here and try to figure out what we can make happen in here. You know, it's just hard for me to switch gears. I mean, when I get to catching them on something moving, I mean, I don't want to stop, but I know at some point I'm probably going to have to slow down and pick something up and flip and pitch it around to get a bite. Some docks down here. Can't believe those fish aren't in that water willow too. Minutes. Watch it. I'm gonna swipe at it up in there. that. Wake him up. Plenty of water. Supposed to be one right there in that shade. Brim all over around these docks. One's supposed to be right there. What's the score now? Twelve to 9-14. Less than 3 pounds.
All right, you know, the deal is Mike's catching some fish. I mean, he's ahead of me right now. I just had a good bite. I'm flipping a really big bait, punch skirt, and Yo Mama, my favorite colors. I love a black and blue punch skirt with a tilapia Yo Mama. It's like my favorite punching bait, you know. These fish, I mean, if I only need like 5 or 6 bites doing this, and they're going, you know, they're going to weigh over 20 pounds, you know, if I catch 5 bites, and I just missed one in there, and I'm kind of starting to figure out where they are. They're not on the bottom, they're suspended, so they're a little bit more finicky than I'd like them, but I'm telling you, I will plow big in here in a second. I'm using a 7-Eleven Denali flipping rod. It's the best punching rod I've ever used. It's pretty light, and it's a big rod, but it doesn't tire you out, you know, and you can get them out of that stuff. I got to flip right back through here where I had that one bite. And then I need to keep going because there's lots of mats, and I mean, you hit the right mat, I might catch 3 or 4 fish. Right in there's where I missed that one. I mean, I can't believe he won't bite again. He probably would if I came back, but man, this stuff right here, like I'm excited right now, you know. I mean, I know I'm fixing to catch a giant. He's beat me by like 3 pounds, you know, but I catch one of these, I'll go up 2 pounds. I've had enough bites to know this is a player. really feel like I'm fixing to catch a big one. They get a little bit harder to catch when you got to hop it and all that. Hopefully they'll get to a point today when they're really active, and they'll hit it on the way through or on the bottom. I really hate that I missed that one. I'm playing a dangerous game though, doing this, Just because simply I'm not going to get as many bites as him probably. But this is, it's one of my favorite ways to fish, man. I mean, Rojas loves to throw a frog, and when they bite it, he wins. But in this game where everything counts, it could be a bad decision for me to do. I like that point over there with all that wind on it. I dang sure want to give myself time to hit that. I mean, there's got to be fish around these little clumps right here. At the break, I'm going to go to a little bit lighter weight. I mean, not super light, but maybe go to like 1.5 ounces. How much time we got?
Come on, bass. Be one on a boat dock. Oh, it's getting hot. I think I'm killing myself not being out there in that wind.
Not the big ones. I don't know where they are, but they ought to be in that stuff. If I'd have missed him, I'd have said he was 5. Quit.
1-8.
1-8. I don't know what he's caught lately, but
11-6.
that's what I have for him. That's what I have? What does he have? It's tight, man. It's tight. I don't like that I'm behind, though, you know. This goes too fast, man. It's too fast. I want to fish longer. Ain't much time to jack around. I'm gonna catch like 2 or 3 out of one of these daggum mats, I promise you. I do think they like that bigger profile. I mean, I think we're definitely that chasing bite's going to go away. I should punch one through here, I would think. God, I mean, you just... That Chaz color's looking pretty big down there now, you know. It's got too big a profile to me, the winding part of it. I mean, I can look right there on the graph and I mean, it's just solid grass. I swear one hit it right then. Man, that should have been one right there. Big old head, boy. I swear another one hit it. I'm fixing to catch one. there's a fish in that mat somewhere. Okay. Time to catch two.
Thing about it, I mean, we've fished our tail ends off this first 90 minutes. Only got about a minute and a half left, and I mean, I feel like I kind of got away from them. I mean, this morning I kind of landed on them, got in an area. There seemed to be a lot of fish moving around, biting. Caught them on a vibrating jig with a cane thumper. Caught them on a swim jig with a cane thumper and a battle bug. And I feel like getting ready to start this second period, I'm going to have to relocate. I mean, I've gone 15, 20, 30 minutes without a bite now, and I'm not feeling good about where I'm at. Not feeling good about where I'm at all. Has he caught any more? I mean, we've got all the same goodies. Oh, there was a bite. How much time? Just wouldn't put it away. Not enough wind. Not enough wind. Come on, fish, bite. Feels good.
Approaching 1 minute.
1 minute.
Approaching 30 seconds.
Come on, one more bite. Damn it.
Bait's got to be out of the water.
Am I going to get penalized if it didn't?
Three, two, one, done.
Oh, man. So what is the score? We still up?
Yeah. I think we're going to do a recap. Hang on, what do you want?
Am I on or not?
Okay, you're on. Do a recap.
Basically, I mean, like I said, this is one of those sweet little lakes that you don't get an opportunity to fish very often, but when you do, you want to take advantage of it. I was here, 12, 13 years ago one time and got to fish this place and caught them on a jerkbait. I mean, the lake is full of them. The thing that's concerning me right now is neither one of us has caught that 4 or 5 pounder yet that I know it's got in it. I mean, Kriet's only behind, 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds right now. I landed on a little group of them this morning throwing a vibrating jig with a big bite cane thumper on it. Switched it up to a swim jig a little bit, and I mean, really everything I've caught on moving baits. I haven't got that flipping bite going yet. I'm almost betting you Kriet. I mean, I can see him, across the lake in that other arm we started in. He's over there slow fishing. So, I feel like one of us is going to hit one of those 4 or 5 pounders, and it's going to really start happening. But I feel like I got to slow down. Kriet said it yesterday when we did our interview on Bass Zone Live that I might cover a little more water and catch some that way. But I really feel like I'm going to have to slow down the second period to stay in front.
Good deal.
First period's over, and I'm gonna tell you it went like that. I had some punching bites. I missed a couple. It's pretty close, but man, I want more time. You just don't have time. There's all kinds of things going through my mind, so I'm just gonna have to put it on him this period. I feel like the flipping deal is gonna be the thing, but I mean, I got a windy point over there. I mean, yeah, it's you don't get decisions are everything when you only get 90 minutes. That's just not very much time. I feel like if I can find the right grass, I can catch a couple big ones. Now I think that's what I need to beat him, but we'll see. I'm gonna regroup. I'm gonna fix it. I guarantee I'm gonna catch more weight than I did last period. I promise you that. So it's exciting. It's nerve-wracking, even when it's just against a buddy. You still want to win.
All right, here we go.
All right, Gary, pretty exciting there. It's tight.
I'm telling you.
12-12 to 11-6, and we saw a lot of punching in that first half.
Quite a bit. I can't believe that Mike didn't slow down. This is when you're sitting here watching this thing, it's a second guess game. I mean, all the viewers, I'm sure you're doing the same thing, saying, well, why did he do this? Why did he do that? And I keep saying, Mike, slow down. And I keep thinking Kriet is going to pop a big fish. He's fishing right. He's fishing for him. That reed bite is when all that grass, that's Eurasian milfoil, most that I saw, is up against those reeds, the fish pull out to the edge of the generally. Or out deep someplace, and I can't believe that Mike doesn't slow down. He hadn't had a bite in how long?
It's been a while.
It's been a long time.
But he made the move out of the wind, where he really got bit early. He was in the wind.
Yeah.
He tried fishing those boat docks, fished some water willow, and just could not make anything happen once he made that move out of the wind.
Well, and I think the fish changed too. I don't think they're going to be on those moving baits quite as good as they are that flipping bite. Well, we'll see. These guys know what they're doing. I sure as hell don't. Or I'd be out there and they'd be in here.
All right, a total of 13 fish caught, just over 24 pounds total for both guys. No real big bite, though, and you hear Kriet talk about it the entire first half about the big bite. There's going to be a big one right here. Every little clump of grass that he pulls up on, oh, man, there's a big one right here.
You got to have a positive attitude, and Jeff does, and he's great at this.
Yeah.
And you know what? If I had to pick who's going to win this thing, it's going to be Kriet. If I had to pick, but I don't, so I'm not. He's got it together. I think it's going to be that big fish, and we'll just have to wait and see.
All right. We're going to take just a 30-second break right here and come back with the guys as we get ready for second half action. So very cool stuff so far, Gary.
Boy, it's just perfect. It's just perfect. I love this format, and I love to watch these guys fish. It's great.
All right, everybody, stay tuned. We'll be right back in 30.
one. We're good.
All right, we made it through period 1, and if my calculations are right, I'm still up by just a little over a pound right now. So it definitely tightened up. You know, it's one of those situations that I knew it was going to, and over the years of listening to Kriet talk about this lake, and the day that I fished it during the spring when we come down here and throw a jerkbait, I remember him telling me that this steep section right here, you don't always get a lot of bites on it, but if you get one, it's going to be a good one. So I guess I'm going to try to take advantage of what I've heard him say over the past years and try to catch a good one or two. Just feel like I got to pick up that cane topper and swim it around this swim worm. I mean, this is pretty much the same scenario of the place we started this morning. I mean, there's, you know, a flat right here. You've got a little bit steeper bank coming in beside us, and I mean, I'm setting 7.5 foot deep. There's grass scattered out here on the edge of this flat, and I mean, I just feel like we're kind of in a lull right now. I think I even mentioned that this morning, that I felt like if we're going to hit one of those lulls today, it was probably going to be around noon, and we're just about right there. So much good looking grass out here, they could be anywhere.
That's awful right there, dude. I mean, that sucker fell about 6 inches and he plowed it, and he got my bug, so he probably won't bite again. They normally won't bite again if they get your bait. Shoot! Maybe there's a bunch of them down there. I don't know if he's still on there or not. Oh, God! Dang, they're in this mat. That would have caught me up right there, idiot. Wasn't very big, but it's about a 1/8. Jeez. There's 2 bites and 2 flips right through there. Donked them both. Those suckers always like a mix, man. I started not to even come over here, and I thought, man, I got to go hit it because there's pads mixed in. I didn't think he was on there, to be honest with you. I thought he'd already come off. Should have just gone over there and got him. On me? I donked off 2 right there, man. That's not... I mean, I kept saying I'm going to hit a mat and I'm going to catch 2 or 3 out of 1 mat, and I just had an opportunity to catch 2 and screwed that up. Hopefully there's some more. I mean, usually, man, when you hit the right mat, this kind of changes everything. Those 2 bites kind of... Now I want to work all this. But, I mean, both of those fish now hit it on the way down, you know. If that's the case, I can fish faster. It's a little frustrating, not gonna lie. Had to put me in the lead. It's pretty though. I wish I could get that lighter weight through there, but I don't know that I can. See, in a full day, you'd come back to that, you know? You'd be like, man, I'll just hit that in an hour. God, these dogs. The freak, man. Come on, man. Jeez. Dude, that's bad. I'm 0 for 3 to start of this period. Not very big. I'm telling you, one of them's going to be the right one. Dude, I hooked him in the chin. That means they're biting weird. But boy, he's hooked good. I'll take it any way I can get it. But there's some fish in these mats, dude. $110. Man, they are in these. I need it, man. I mean, I could have like put a hurting on him right there. You know what I mean? I mean, that's my 4th bite. But this water's real clean in here. It's just this is Yo Mama right here. This is my favorite color punching bait right here. It's my favorite setup. That's a black and blue punch skirt. That's a 2-ounce Eco Pro tungsten weight peg and a 4-aught trocar straight shank hook. I mean, that's my favorite. I mean, this stuff's thick, you know. I don't know that I wanted to put on a lighter weight. I just don't know that I can get it through. But they're in this stuff, man. It's pretty water. I mean,
all that stuff back there in the back's just scattered, and they could be anywhere. Right here, it gets steep right here, and there's a good hard line of grass, so hopefully ease our way down this little grass line and find some. Am I on or not? 4 ounces of difference. Damn it. Never mind, Kriet's hooked up.
1.8.
I'm telling you, I mean, it's crazy. Like grass flipping. You know, you got to have the right rod. You got to have the right stuff. I'm flipping 65-pound braid, but it's so much. It's scary to do it in this format, just because. I mean, there's so much grass. You never know which map. But I mean, if you look at it, I mean, I could have caught like 6 right here. They are in this stuff right here. I mean, we found the right maps. Now we just gotta pick them off and then keep moving around and find another map. We got the area now where there's plenty of fish to. What the hell have I got going on? Ooh. Okay. I guarantee he knows what I'm doing. God, dogs, they're in here, dude. Holy cow, they're in here. Jeez. I don't think they're big, but they are in here. I mean, every flip one's hitting it on the way down. Dude, I'm shaking. I want that $1,000, and I want to win. How I missed him. I mean, I waited for him to pull it down. I mean, I did everything right on that, and he just. There's a lot of grass. I mean, it's like stressful. I gotta keep going, and I don't want to. I mean, the good thing is they're biting it fast, you know, now. I mean, they're biting it on the way down. I mean, the best is when they're just on the bottom. You don't miss as many. They're still suspended.
I absolutely cannot believe. I mean, there are absolutely just millions of. I don't know if it's shad fry or crappie fry, bass fry. I mean, everywhere right here. I can't believe I can't get a bite. Unbelievable. Just hovering right here around the shade line. Good grief.
You know, I had me a big time flurry back there. I mean, I could have had like 5 bites and caught 2 of them. You know, that's not very good, but I mean, that's how it goes down in that grass. I mean, I'm gonna have another one. I just need to do better, you know. I don't know that I'll have time to hit that again, but boy, I'd like to. I mean, when you're flipping this grass, I'm telling you, you just go and go and go, and you'll find a mat that's, I mean, most of the time, even like in a Bassmaster tournament, you'll see these guys will have these big bags punching. It's like hours and hours of flipping, and then when it goes down, I mean, the bulk of their fish are going to come out of one mat. You know, it's not like they caught them all day long. I mean, you get flurries. I mean, that's just, you got to catch them. I mean, I'm out of practice, man. I haven't punched all year. I mean, there was a pile of fish back there, you know. The question will be, is it worth going back there at some point, or can I find another one? That looks really tasty right there on that edge. Okay, I bet that sucker spawned right here. Wow. Dude, I'm stressed right now. I don't even know what rod I'm trying to pick up. I got stuff everywhere. Wrong one. Oh, it's right there. Found it. Mike made better work of his flurry this morning.
Man, I just feel like I'm going through a lull bad. Actually kind of doubling back and fishing a little tighter to this steeper bank right here where I saw that fry a while ago, just to see if I missed something. It just looks too good not to get a bite right there. Has he caught any more? got my cricket. Got my cricket, he did. It's that new 4-inch flipping tube, and I mean, as you can see, it's full of salt. And I mean, when they get on this thing, it can definitely be the deal. I really figure it ought to work as good as anything right now. A complete update on the scoreboard, please. Or I mean, just tell me what difference is. Is he still at 14 or 13 something? 14, 8 to 12, 12. I just don't get how there can't be one along this shade. Middle part of the day. Fry is everywhere. Setting in 13 foot of water, pitching to an outside grass line in 6. Come on. You know, that's the whole thing with me. You know, growing up where I did, I fished rock and wood. That was it. So when I get to come to a place like this, you know, southern Oklahoma, Texas, it's really not like anything I ever grew up fishing. You know, even Grand never had a lot of vegetation, had a lot of willow trees to flip, but I just didn't grow up fishing grass. So, I mean, to me, you know, it doesn't remind me of any lake that I actually get to fish up home, but, you know, it reminds me of a lot of lakes that we fish in Texas and other parts of the country for sure. I mean, I'm hoping the Sabine River's got a lot of this grass in it when we get there is what I'm hoping. Last year when we were there for the Open, it actually did have a lot of grass in it, but I heard that a lot of that flooding might have knocked some of that out, so it'll be interesting to see. I know some of the guys that went down there last week were crying and whining that there wasn't any vegetation, so I guess we'll see soon. We're not good, we're not catching them. Yeah, I feel like this is not the place to be.
Most of the day when you guys caught them, you guys just caught doubles, like flurries.
You know, one thing about it, when you look back at what happened this morning here, it's really what I talked about right off the bat. I mean, these fish are driven by that moon phase when they want to feed. And, you know, when you're around them and you're during one of those feeding periods, you're going to catch them if you're throwing the right stuff. You know, we both started this morning and it was kind of a, you know, 1-2 battling, you know, match. We were back and forth. He'd catch one, I'd catch two, he'd catch one. And, you know, I mean, that's kind of what it is. And, I mean, you can tell right now it's definitely going through that lull. It's unreal. You know, everybody hunts by the moon, but fishing's the same way. You start watching Major League Fishing and be a part of something like that, and when you can actually hear when everybody's catching them. I can remember days that we'll go through, I mean, periods of 30, 45, 50 minutes where nobody in the field catches one. You know, and it's not that we're not fishing good water, it's just the fact that the fish aren't feeding. So you really have to stay focused, I mean, like all the time when you're on the water, because when that flurry starts, you've got to take advantage of it. I mean, you can definitely tell we have both hit a absolute dead spot. Just trying to figure out where Kriet went. I'm starting to think he went back and moved back to where we started, because I don't see him back in that other arm anymore. I mean, one thing I will say, that when you get into those periods of the day where you feel like, you know, you are kind of in a lull, I like to be in an area where I don't have as many targets to flip at, and that's kind of what I've done. I've put myself in an area right now where, you know, if there's going to be one here, he's going to be on that bush, he's going to be in that shade line kind of deal, and just trying to make the most of it while I don't feel like they are biting. If Kriet starts catching them again, I'm definitely going to make a move back up to the upper end of the lake and get back around that grass again. You were asking a while ago what kind of depth. I mean, we're sitting 15 foot deep on this ledge right now, so, you know, I mean, it's not like there's not plenty of water. Still got some grass growing along the steeper banks, some vegetation up there on the bank, and you got some big old boulders out off the bank. A lot of brim on here. They're eating the tentacles on that tube. I mean, it definitely could come down to one good bite, as close as things have been all morning, and that's, you know, Kriet said it yesterday. I mean, if one of us catches a 4 or 5 pounder and keeps consistent the rest of the day, I mean, that's going to be the difference maker. If neither one of us catch a big one, it's just going to be who ends up getting the right bites. And when I say the right bites, I guess it's going to be who ends up getting the most bites.
Approaching 1 hour.
1 hour left. Gotta kick it up, cover some water.
I need a break to keep up with
I am really surprised nobody's caught a 5, at least a 5 pounder. It's gonna happen. I just hope it's me, but I mean, there's got to be some fish with all this wind up here, like that point up there. There's got to be one up there. I'll bet anybody watching $1 I catch one up there. I mean, there's got to be a fish up there on that wind. So much grass. I mean, I know the punching deal is, that's it, but I mean, it takes a long time. If you practiced, you know exactly where you need to be. Just swimming a jig now with a cane thumper on the back. That's about what I swim and on everything. just are not wanting wine anymore. I mean, I guess they shouldn't, you know. I mean, it makes sense. It's freaking hot. So what do they want? Maybe that. Swing and a miss. I don't think he's much to him. It's a dang sure bite. Just around a clunk.
Oh yeah, that might be the difference maker. Come on, baby. That's a good one. Look at that old fat dude. Goodness gracious. What do you reckon that one's been eating? He ain't filled up on big bite tubes, I promise you. Gosh. Oh, that's that new Gamakatsu hook that I got, that hybrid one hook. Look at that thing. Look at that. This looks like a pre-spawn fish. Freak of nature, as Dave Mercer would say. Something ain't right. Did I not zero that?
Yeah, you got a zero.
All right, we're zero.
Zero.
$3.14. 314.
14 confirmed.
Yes, yes, yes. Look at that dude. Kriet should have never told me big ones lived here. Oh. Fish absolutely swam off with that thing. 1610 to 14.8. And there we go back to what we just talked about. Is that good fish going to make the difference today, you know? Shade on the corner of a boat dock, right where you would expect one to be.
Does that calm you down to make you want to do this for the rest of the series?
That just hypes me up is what that does. You know, I mean, when you catch a fish like that, I mean, it gets the adrenaline going. I don't care how many of them you've caught, how many times you've been in this position where you go from not being in the lead to in the lead. I mean, it amps you up, you know, and it's it gets the adrenaline going. You know, I was really starting to wonder if I was in the wrong place, being on this steeper bank, but when I came around that boat dock just then and saw that fry again, I mean, there's no doubt these fish may not be garden fry still, but they're here for a reason, and that's because this is where the fry is pushed.
Told you, everybody out there watching that didn't believe me owes me $1. Smell it to Jeff Kriet, Ardmore, Oklahoma.
$110.
That is my 3.5-inch tube. It is a good tube. It is very, very soft. You really, when you're flipping a tube, you want to you don't want that tube on your hook when you jerk. Everybody likes to flip a tube, but everybody's afraid to flip a tube. I mean, that's about everything I used to win was on a tube, and I quit flipping them because I lose so many. This tube's so soft, I'm not afraid to flip it. And that's what I'll flip it to Sabine probably the whole time. Probably tighten it up there. He's probably about a pound ahead of me now is all. I told you I'd catch one on that point. Ought to be another one right there. Come on, really? You know what? I can tell you right now, I'm taking a risk, man, getting down here. But I mean, I feel like I go back and just start flipping that grass.
I was really getting a little concerned. I mean, fishing as much water as I'd fished there without a bite, and you know, I kind of feel like after catching that 314, I mean, I feel like I'm at least doing somewhat the right thing. Do I feel like I'm around the most fish in the lake? Maybe not, but I definitely feel like I'm in a place where I can catch a big one or two for sure. I mean, there's no denying that. I mean, you start separating the class of fish there are, and they're going to live in different locations, you know. I mean, we got a lot more vertical cover here. You know, it really doesn't surprise me that it's as close as it is. I mean, you know, Kriet, I think, probably has fewer fish, if I'm not mistaken, but I think he's, you know, he's zeroed in on a flipping bite. I've covered some water and caught some of those smaller, more aggressive fish this morning and kind of jumped out there, but, you know, his quality overall, I think, has been a little bit better. What is the count number-wise? Is it even, or has he got... Kriet has one more than me. See, I thought it would have been the other way, but it's just one of those deals that, you know, when you fish a stretch like this, I mean, you've just got isolated little key areas where you feel like they're going to be. These little soft shade lines coming off of these trees, and, you know, what little bit of vegetation's growing on these rocks, you'd think it would really narrow down your targets, but I've only had one bite down this stretch. Fortunately, it was a good one.
Approaching 49 minutes.
49.
This sucker's tore my punch skirt off. That's not good. I don't really feel like I have time to put another one on. Come on, fish. I really want my punch skirt on, but I just don't. I mean, it'll take me freaking 4 or 5 minutes. I need some color. Okay. I'm gonna work my way down here. I hope I'm not making a mistake, man. I'm leaving a bunch of fish, you know. There's way better grass on that other end, but I mean, dang, how can there not be one like in that, you know? Come on, fish, really? There's no way. It's not on this stretch. I gotta cover some water through here. Stressing a little bit, not gonna lie. I think with that wind blowing like that, you'd still pick up some on this outside of this grass. I have not had a bite on this color. I need to go back, I guess, to the white one and just he's fixing to catch one over there, I promise you. It's not, I don't want to chase anything right now. It's gonna tell you I'm fixing to bust some up. can't believe they won't come out of that grass. My buddy this morning, God, you'd caught the snot out of them winding that thing around that grass. About to get real. Look at that eagle. Beautiful bald eagle. Come on, fish. There's no way there's not one on this windy point. There's no way.
You know, I mean, I've come across another really unique little deal. I mean, we were fishing down that sheer bluff wall and then came up on this little area where it's a little bit flatter. There's I missed it, dadgummit. Some coontail growing farther out off the bank. I really thought it would produce one. I think that was a very big one that bit me a while ago.
Approaching 40 minutes to make.
40 minutes to go. We still within 8 ounces of one another? You know, I mean, it definitely can be if we get on.
God, that was a giant. Oh, that was a big one. I told you I'd get a big bite right here. Son of a gun. I knew I would. I knew I'd catch a big one right there. Biggest one I had on. Dadgummit. I knew I'd catch one and get bit right there. That's a big one, dude. God. That's a real one. Gummit. Good one, fatty. That other one felt bigger.
0. Two.
Wow, I thought he was bigger than that. Big outie. Skinny. Look, I got the doo-doo on my line. I got the poo on me. Thinking 3 1/2 inch. It's a really good color right here, man. It's got the orange. Put a rattle in there. I always flip a rattle with it too. I got a peg, 5/16 Eco tungsten, 4/0 straight shank. But this tube's soft enough, you can do it. You can go through, you know, with it. I would never. The old tubes, you could never go through the middle like that. Hopefully there's more on there, man. That other one felt like a real good one that I lost. Mikey's hooked on.
Ah, dadgummit. That's gonna hurt. Fish was coming at me so hard I never caught up with him. Guess this is the spillway area for the lake. Gotta be a little current going through there, I would think, right now. Dadgummit. I mean, I messed that one up. I picked up, it was heavy, and leaned on him and never caught up with him. So what's the difference now? Pound 12 ounces? Correct?
What's the difference now as far as weight? $16.10 to $18.40.
Fish. I mean, I am a little shocked that we haven't caught them a little bit better. I mean, I really thought that we'd probably both push 28, 30 pounds today, you know, and I really almost feel like I should try to move back down to the south end of the lake, but I almost feel like, you know, you just don't have the time to kill to do it. I mean, one bite's all it's going to take. Oh, just flat missed that one. Absolutely missed that one. Like I said, these tubes are pretty much brand new for Big Bite. I mean, they're super salty, super soft. When you need to get a bite, I don't know of a better thing to be flipping at them than a soft, salty tube. I'm gonna catch one right here off this dock. See right there by that dock, there's a big old clump of hydrilla that's got, or coontail, whatever you want to call it, washed up in there by that dock. I mean, that is like a ideal place to catch one. shade line coming off there, off that balcony. All the right things. Man, I will say none of the bites that I've got this afternoon have been aggressive at all. I mean, this morning they were pretty well smoking that vibrating jig, and I mean, the bites this afternoon have all just been real lethargic acting.
I had 2 bites off that point and lost one of them. The first one felt like a pretty good one. I mean, the bite's getting a little tougher, I mean, but that's, you know, you'd expect that. Just like I said, I still know that it's gonna come down to a 5-pounder, in my opinion. There's some, you know, you see that rock up there. I'd like to be back punching that grass, I'll be completely honest with you. But I don't know that I have enough time to get over there. And that's just what I feel most confident with right now. There's a fish blew up though. There's a little bit of mats in here. Man, I need a 5-pounder. I feel like a 5-pounder seal the deal.
30 minutes.
Yeah. There's bait jumping all in here. Come on, fish. Man, it's that rock right there. Yeah, stressing me out, boy. 28 minutes. Wow. Now I got to catch like three or four more, I promise you. Dude, I don't know what to do. Lost my punch skirt. scares me because he's fixing to be on some really good stuff. And I don't have much good stuff left. Just gotta go.
Don't need to be on. Hung up. Found the old dreaded rope hanging off the side of the boat dock. Oh, come on, we don't need this right now. No, I don't have a fish on, y'all. I just don't want to leave my hook hanging in somebody's rope. You know, that's one thing that we do have to do as fishermen. I mean, when you do fish around other people's property, boat docks, things like that, you definitely don't want to leave hooks and stuff where kids can get in them. Come on, I need a bite.
What's your thought for the remaining time?
You know, I mean, we got 28 minutes. I mean, I'm only down by a bite, so I feel like I really can't afford to try to move. I mean, I've just got to hunker down and keep fishing what's in front of me. I mean, there's plenty of stuff to catch them on right here. It's not like there's a lack of the right stuff. I just don't think they're biting very good. Neither one of us are catching them right now, you know? Starting to get the feeling, you know, these fish are a lot more scattered out than I thought just because there's so much vegetation growing. I mean, I'm setting 12, 13 foot deep and there's actually sprigs of vegetation growing out this deep. So, I mean, these fish can really be about anywhere. You would think that they'd be taking advantage of some of this shade from these docks and stuff, but I've yet to get a bite on a dock. Not under the dock. Caught that one on the side of it, but coming. Another tube. I definitely feel like it's been a little tougher fishing day than I thought it would be, though. I mean, in all honesty, I I expected both of us to catch them a little bit better than we have. Fry everywhere right there. I mean, I will have to say that I do kind of feel like I got thrown off a little bit by catching that fish on that steeper bank because, you know, I just haven't caught the numbers down through here that he's caught on the other side. May not have been the best choice, but I'm here and I got to make the best of it the way I look at it. Something has got to happen. Be a bass right here. Got to be. I mean, I do like to put a rattle in my tube most of the time. I'm not going to say I do it all the time. If I'm fishing real clear water, I probably won't. But I mean, this water's got just enough color that you feel like you probably need that little extra something. Got to be a fish right there somewhere. Coming.
Somebody's going to catch a big one. Somebody's going to catch a. We're too close. And I'm not really around them. I mean, I need to get back to some good stuff, you know. I don't know that I'm even going to have time to get there. But I've got out of them. And my punch skirt's gone. Life is bad. haven't had a bite since I lost my punch card. We just gotta. If I catch one more, good one, I might win. But he's gonna get him. He's gonna catch one or two more, and we're close. So tight. I mean, it's gonna come down to. I can't believe they won't. It's so windy. I mean, you think you could catch one winding. How much time do I got? How much time? How much time we got? 15 minutes? I'm taking a big gamble right now, I really am. I mean, I'm probably gonna get beat because I did this, but. Give me like 5 minutes to, I'd rather be fishing for 5 minutes where I think I'm gonna catch one than I'm in no man's land. I'm just hoping I cast over a ball of grass right now. He hadn't caught any more either? He hadn't caught any more? And you could do work if you had like
16, 10, and 18 for your leading.
Okay. I mean, you could do serious work if you had all day. It's a lot. I'm telling you, it's not much time. I don't care how good it is where you're fishing. This place is pretty good. I mean, you could grind around in that grass and catch them. Man, it just goes by quick, But that makes it fun. It makes it stressful. If you had all day, you don't have that urgency, Let's hope this was a good decision, I feel like it is. We'll see. I mean, now I feel like I'm around them, Well, how much time we have now? Like 10 minutes, I hope. Huh? Banger? Okay. It's enough, dude. I feel like if I get one good bite, close this sucker out with 5. Good decision right there. Brilliant. I feel like a little bit like there's a fella from a long time ago named Albert Einstein. He was considered a genius. Right now, I feel like I could be his great-great-grandson for that decision. Look at there, even got a rattle trap hanging on it. Quit.
114.
What you think about that? Huh? I'd like to have all day to flip this stuff. I mean, it's on now. I mean, like over there where I started this morning, be freaking wide open in that stuff. There's no doubt in my mind this is where the big ones are now.
You know, I can't believe this. I mean, I've messed around here for the last hour, caught one bass. It was a good one, got me off on the wrong tangent, and I'm gonna let him beat me if something doesn't happen in a hurry. I think I'm about 3 pounds behind right now. I feel like I'm just now kind of getting back in an area where it's a little bit more like what we started on this morning, but I really don't feel like they're biting very good right now. I mean, we fished, both of us have fished what to me looks like a lot of really good water and not caught many, so just kind of feel like they're just not doing much. I mean, you would think the way that wind's been blowing out of the south for days and days that these fish would be down here on this south end. How much time? I mean, I just do not have very much time. I mean, these are the days you want to see, you know, what actually went down, what the other guy was doing, what actually gave him the advantage. You know, this morning, I mean, the moving bait was definitely the key. I think Kriet was trying to flip, and I was throwing a chatterbait, and I was catching more fish quicker, you know. This afternoon, I think he's just kind of stayed in that pace all afternoon, where it's finally wound up kicking over in his favor. Just never got the flipping bite going. Never figured out what they wanted to be on. We're around some really good looking water right now. Just don't feel like they want to chase. Dadgummit.
I need one more. God, he hit it right there. Man, they're kind of finicky. I need one more bite, I think, to win. But I'm glad there's only 5 minutes left and I'm leading. But this is pretty stressful. I mean, I know it's fun, but it's still stressful. It goes by so fast, man. Really, amazingly fast. I mean, there's so much water that looks good now that they're biting this flipping bite I'd like to go back to. I mean, I burned a bunch of time getting back here, but I'm glad I did. I mean, this is like my favorite thing to do in the world is what I'm doing right now. I mean, there's no other way I'd rather catch them. And the good thing is, I mean, for me, it's good because it's going down and they're not chasing as good, you know, as they would have been if we'd have started early. And Mike really is not, he's good at it, but he's not crazy about flipping this grass. I mean, you're only good at what you like doing, you know. There's nothing I would rather not do than sight fish. That's why I don't do very good when it's sight fishing. I mean, when I do this, I always know I'm just a couple flips away from the mother lode, you know, like that flurry we had, you know. If I'd have made the most of that, it would have been pretty ugly. Okay. I'm gonna get one more. And I caught one right here earlier, this mat. That helps. Take that, Mike McClelland. Oh. Dude, if I wasn't so graceful, I'm very graceful. I used to to walk a tightrope in a circus, thank God. You didn't even know that about me, did you? I did the trapeze deal, but I lost concentration and dropped my partner. One minute, Dougie Fresh, you're on. On. I used to also sing rap. All I do is win, 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 no matter what. How many seconds? I'm audio. It's over. Get in here! Did you see that? I won. I beat Little Peepaw. Won $42 million on the Bassmaster Tournament Trail, and you got Jeff Kriet, who's won $18. Maybe a little more than that. But that was fun. It was very stressful. That it goes by way, way, way too fast. I know he's got this little challenge deal going on, and everybody's like, yeah, dude, I want a piece of that. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, it's not what you think it is. 2 90-minute periods goes by about like waiting in line for 4 hours to ride the Shockwave at Six Flags, and you get on there and you're done. That's how fast it goes by. I caught most of them today punching is what did it, and I caught them on. That right there was what the deal was. That's a 2-ounce weight, okay, 65-pound braid, tilapia, yo mama, with a 4/0 straight shank trocar hook, snailed. I snailed the hook. I had a punch skirt on that, and I really feel like it hurt me once that came apart. You can see the deal, but that was the main thing. Now, we caught some early on a cane thumper. If it had been cloudy, or we'd have started at daylight, the weights would have been way higher, because those fish would have been out in front of the grass and on top of the grass. But they weren't, and I was fortunate enough to start punching. So that's kind of how it went down. I mean, Mike's a good fisherman. I have fished this place more than he has, but I have not fished this place in a long time. And all the grass, since I fished it last, there wasn't any grass. So the dynamics of the lake have changed. But man, that was fun. I'm trying to think what I'm going to do with this $1,000. I really don't know. I know that I'm a winner. That was champagne, is what it was.
All right, go to the studio and one.
All right, Gary, Kriet getting it done in style. I don't know about the water shower at the end there, but
that was all right. I mean, it's not NASCAR, Jeff. Come on. I tell you what, if this doesn't make you want to go fishing, nothing does. Those guys are fishing. It's 90 degrees, 10-mile-an-hour winds, 50% humidity, uncomfortable. I don't blame him for pouring water on his own self.
Yeah.
I probably would have too. But this is good stuff, man. I tell you what, I kind of thought when Mike had that flurry at the beginning, he was using moving baits, and he was moving them a lot. And then that Mike quit. But Mike didn't, and that's kind of where I was thinking maybe Jeff's got a real good shot at this, and it turned out he did. I thought he would catch bigger fish, but he didn't.
Yeah. Final totals for each angler: 8 fish for Mike McClelland for 1610, and 12 fish for Jeff Kriet for 2113.
Wow.
Pretty good performance. A little bit of adjusting there, but Mike went through probably a 40-minute lull there.
Or longer. Or
maybe even longer,
yeah.
where he just couldn't put anything together. After he got the big bite, the 3-pounder around the boat dock, I thought, okay, he's going to find something.
He didn't find anything. He had one bite, and he stayed on that deep bank, and he had all those fish up there in that grass, and I kept thinking, come on, Mike, let's go back to that grass. But no, it is what it is. Both are great fishermen. I tell you, you can't fault them on skill. If you watch them cast and you watch how quietly that those pitching baits enter the water and how accurate those casts are, these guys are great. It's just, it was Jeff's day. That's it.
All right, we're going to go back to the guys on the water here in just a few minutes, get the wrap up from them, some final thoughts from both Jeff and Mike. I want to remind everybody, on the live page that you're looking at right now, at the very bottom, there is a feedback link to where you can actually go in, fill out a form, and give us any kind of feedback to where we can make this better. This is only the third one that we've done, and
That's
really
right.
only the second true one. I
The
mean,
first one was a practice
the
deal.
trial deal with Sean Goodwin and Brad Hallman here in Oklahoma. But please give us the feedback. I would greatly appreciate it if you fill out the form and let us know how we can make this better. Obviously, we're going to tweak this thing as much as we can and make it as good as we can for the fans. This technology is incredible. When we did our first live stream 8 years ago, Gary, I had no idea that 8 years later we'd be sitting here in the studio watching these guys go one-on-one live.
Oh, man.
From a body of water that, from coast to coast.
I tell you what, props to the camera guys. They were both spot on throughout the whole thing. I mean, you sit there and hold a camera for 3 hours or whatever it is, and my God, these guys were perfect. It was great.
Yeah, good stuff. And I really want to thank Big Bite Baits for making this one possible. Also, TH Marine, they are really the power source behind this whole concept and everything that we're doing from the one-on-one live standpoint. We will be queuing some more up on deck coming up in the fall. We're not going to be able to do anything in July or August from a standpoint of this type of format, but we did launch last week our new one-on-one live challenge, and we have some stuff coming up in July where some local guys have thrown down challenges to some of the pros, and that's going to be very exciting. You don't know about that, so I'm going to have to explain that to you.
I don't know anything about
when that's over, but the website for the one-on-one live challenge is bzoneononelive.com. Check it out, and more to come on that.
Can I challenge them? Can I challenge somebody?
Yeah.
There's a couple I want to
How about
challenge.
you go up against Kenyon Hill? Bring him out of retirement.
Oh, I do. I take that one easy. I'm thinking more like KVD. I want to go up against him.
You can throw it out there. That's the cool thing about this new deal is you can challenge anybody.
How you
Now,
gonna
whether
pick
he
'em?
accepts,
Who accepts? How are you going to pick them?
you throw down a challenge to anybody that you want. And then the information gets routed to me. We make contact with them. We say, hey, John Smith has issued a challenge to you for $5,000. Do you want to accept his challenge?
And where do you fish?
The person that throws down the challenge assigns what's the body of water. So, like, here, I'll give you an example. All right,
My little
Harmon
private
Davis.
lake,
Do you
and I
remember
do-
Harmon Davis?
Yeah, I remember
All right,
him well.
Harmon Davis threw down a challenge on Lake Eufaula to directly toward another angler, and that angler accepted.
Who's the other angler? Why is it a secret?
I know, I don't remember. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
that's a
Dude,
good
I've
reason.
been a little busy.
You have been
Jeez.
busy. Folks, while I've been sitting here watching this broadcast,
It
he's
was,
been punching
Mr.
buttons
Fawcett.
and carrying on. Huh?
Mr. Fawcett. He won a BFL, very active on social media.
Okay.
So Harmon
Okay, I don't
issued
know
a
him.
challenge, and
I don't know him.
Mr. Fawcett said, I accept. So they're going to throw down in July.
Who puts up to $5,000?
He did. Well, the $5,000 one was worldwide. James Watson, $5,000 on Table Rock.
Oh, so if I challenge somebody, I got to put the money up. No?
Yeah, you got to say, hey, I want to fish against Kenyon Hill for $1,500
Oh, I
on
see.
Grand Lake.
And then if I win, does he got to give me $1,500?
Yes.
Oh,
It's
hell, I'd
one-on-one,
do that.
man. Heads
I'd
up.
do that. Let's go.
Again, you only got to beat one guy, Gary. That's it.
Well, I
one
couldn't
guy.
beat KVD. I couldn't beat Kenyon Hill, but I'd try.
You and Kenny get after it for $1,500. That'd be good. Anyway, the guys, they're working their way to where we can get a wrap up here and really get the thoughts from both Mike and Jeff on what went down today.
Boy, I got to say again, this is such a good format and so much fun. And I hope the viewers enjoy it as much as I think they do. This is just great. And again, it's a game. We sit here, we second guess, and I've been second guessing all along. But gets right down to it. It's between these two guys, and they're both great. And we really have no business second guessing these guys. But still, it's fun to do. You know.
Really cool stuff. I did receive some emails about the Brent Ayler versus Jason Christie match.
Oh, yeah.
We had to reschedule that. That was scheduled on Lake Fort Gibson. And unfortunately, there was severe weather in the area prior to the Grand Lake event.
Yeah.
And we just cannot do this when severe weather's in the area.
Well, you can't technically, and in that case, it really wasn't safe. I talked to both the anglers prior to the scheduled event, and they were both excited as they could be about it, and they were talking together, and it was really going to be fun, and I was really looking forward to it, and I'm sorry that weather came through, but it is what it is.
Yeah. All right. The guys have almost made their way back to the dock, to the shore there. I can see it queued up here, so we were going to go to them immediately as soon as Mr. McClelland gets up on the bank. And the thing about it, Gary, Mike's not a happy camper right now.
No, he's not.
As good of friends as these two guys are, both of these guys did not want to lose. It wasn't really about the winning from the perspective of, I don't want to lose to this guy.
Oh, I agree.
Now, Kriet, he's going to rub it in a little bit. Now, whether he does it on camera or off camera, Kriet's going to have some fun with this one.
I would guess both. Off and on camera,
Yeah.
Mr. Kriet is going to give Mr. McClelland a hard time.
Yeah.
Mr. McClelland will take it well. He's a gentleman and a nice guy, and
Yeah.
one of the nicest guys out there, matter of fact. And it's going to be fun to see what happens. The end, did the way it went surprise you, Mark?
Do what now?
Did the way this whole thing go surprise you?
Not really. I'm the guy that always discusses and talks about the home field advantage. I know Mike is not the greatest grass angler in the world. You know, that's probably one of his weaknesses. So I think from a performance standpoint, I think Mike did a good job. Did he win? No. But I think Jeff, obviously having the experience, even though it might have been years ago or a few years ago, I think Jeff is a better grass angler
It boiled down
than
to
Mike.
that. We talked about it before they started, that, you know, Mike likes moving things, moving baits, jerk baits, spinner bait, moving bait. And Jeff slows down.
Yeah, I'm going to make this point too. You know, back when we fished a lot, 15, 20 years ago, the tube was a huge part of everybody's arsenal.
Yes.
And Jeff caught a lot of fish on a tube today. And how many times do you guys see not only the Elite Series and the FLW and even the weekend guys? How often do you see those guys pull out tubes and actually have success with the tube, unlike what took place 15, 20 years ago?
I think the reason there's not is they don't throw it. People aren't throwing it like they used to.
It's not cool, Gary.
Mike caught his biggest fish on a tube.
Yeah.
And the biggest fish of the whole day was on a tube. I still carry him around. I don't throw him much, though. I got to start.
Well, maybe this will be
it'll get me going.
A nice little new life in the tube based upon what Jeff did today.
Well, as it should be. If it wasn't so hot, I'd go fishing right now. But
how's your pond doing?
It's not doing well.
Not good?
Not good.
We couldn't do a one-on-one live at your pond?
If you want to, we could. I'll take on, Kenyon or KVD.
Talk about the home field advantage there, Gary. Jeez.
I know every blade of grass, every little stump, every rock. Yeah, I could probably do good there.
All right. The guys are almost set up here. Once again, it took them a little while to get back to where they were, and we'll get the summary there. Real quick, I do want to reemphasize, hey, if there's a challenge out there that you want to issue anybody on the FLW Tour or the Elite Series, this is your chance. This is your opportunity that if you've got the cash and you've got the game, then let's see it happen. Pony it up. Let your ego take over. Hopefully it will match up with what you do on the water, and then you might go home with some cash.
Or you might, you might not. Now, give us the website again so people know.
Oh, the website?
Yeah.
Okay, I got Matt talking in my ear here. I'm sorry.
Don't pipe
it is www.bz, as in Bassone, bz1on1live.com.
And you don't spell out the ones. Just one.
Just the number one.
Number one.
All right.
Live.com.
And then you can issue the challenges there. All right. Let me. Is there anything else you want to add, Gary? Well,
I want to ask a question. Are the challenges on there? Can I go see all the challenges?
Yeah.
So I can see them.
Yeah. Once somebody issues a challenge, there is a challenge listing, and then once somebody accepts the challenge, then that gets listed too.
We've got one accepted so far. Well, you just started. How could you have any more than that?
What do you mean?
Well, you just started the live.
Oh, I know, Wednesday.
Yeah, so we've only got the one challenge accepted, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's more out there.
All right, there'll be a lot.
Matt talking in my ear. I got to get this going here. I think we're ready.
Are we ready?
That's why I asked you if there was anything else that you would like to add about today before we go to
it's a great day. Two great
English
fishermen and did a good job in pretty rough conditions. Great. Congratulations to them both. Heck of a deal.
All right, here we go.
We need to turn around so you're not shooting in the sun. You know, the way it is, I mean, this thing happened about the way I thought it would. I mean, I got off on a pretty good little roll this morning. I mean, we're one-on-one here on this lake, and I mean, it's full of bass, it's full of grass, and it's just like you said, I took off with a moving bait. I was throwing a swim jig with a cane thumper and a battle bug on it. I was throwing a vibrating jig with a cane thumper on it, and they were biting this morning. Yeah. But I kept telling my camera guy all morning long, I'm like, he is going to figure it out. Once he dials in what they're in, it's going to be, pound here, 2 pounds here, 3 pounds here, and that's pretty much the way it went down.
It did, and you start off really fast. I mean, I lost on my first throw.
Yeah.
And then that deal kind of died, and I love to flip grass. It's not your favorite thing. And that's what we were saying. You're only good at what you really like to do. Yeah. Like, you can throw a jerk bait as good as anybody in the world, but you love to do it. They got to really be eating it for me to do it. But once I got that first punching bite, I kind of felt like it might be your ass.
Yeah, well, and that's what I kept saying to him. He's like, well, what lakes does this remind you of? I mean, I didn't grow up with grass. I mean, you grew up, you cut your teeth fishing in this area. You cut your teeth fishing grass. And to me, it's something that I've had to learn to fish over the years. I fished rock and wood and points and things like that, and it just, when I got over here on the east side of the lake and found the rock, I thought, I'm going to catch some here, and I fished down through a stretch. I catch that 314. I think, okay, if I just bear down here, I'll get a good bite or two, and I mean, it's a stretch that you told me that big ones live on. Yeah. And when I caught that 314, I thought I had something on you, but it came down to what it came down to. I mean, we fished our tails off for 2 90-minute periods. We made a bet, and I'm going to be good on my bet. I mean, there's 100 of them for $1,000 in crisp $100 bills. They are yours, but there's one thing that we have to do tonight.
What's that?
I lost 500 playing cards last night, so I need you to come down and stake me at the poker room.
At the poker room. Oh man, I haven't won much money this year. So this right here, I don't know what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to put a down payment on something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was stressful. It goes by really fast.
It really does. I mean, when you talk about 2 90-minute periods, I mean, it zips by so fast. And I knew if I didn't get off to a good start, I mean, you were going to eventually catch up to me. I mean, knowing the little good I don't know what I'm trying to say, but you know the little sweet spots.
Well, the truth of it is, honest to God, I didn't, because the grass is all new.
Yeah.
So I just took off, and I was still flipping a little bit this morning, and you were catching them, and I was drawing it, and they just weren't in it. And then finally, but the weird deal was, there for a while I was getting bites. I'd flip in there, it'd go to the bottom, and I'd have to hop it 2 or 3 times, and you'll miss a lot of those. They just now really in the last maybe half hour have gotten where you flip in there and it falls and boom, he's got it. And I mean, I really feel like if we had another 90-minute period, and I went flipping, I would catch some big ones. I'm really surprised we didn't catch some 5-pounders.
Yeah, that's what I mean, when we were here 10, 12, 13 years ago, whenever it was when we were doing that stick bait deal, I mean, this place has got big ones. I mean, this morning I knew I had to get off to a good start to have a chance. And I think if we would have got started at daylight, can you imagine what the topwater bite would have been on a buzz frog this morning?
A buzz frog, a buzz bait, even just a cane thumper. It would have been, in the first period, you'd probably be like 30 pounds to 25 or something.
Probably so. But you know what? Why don't you just go swimming? Good job today.
Yeah, had fun.
We're out.
I did catch a couple on too. Not many.
All right, there you have it, Gary. That is it. Another one in the books. Your final score, Jeff Kriet, 21-13. Mike McClelland, 16-10. Everybody make sure you tune in to myself and the Grasshopper, Matt Pangrak on BTL. We will be live tomorrow, 9 a.m. Central Time. We'll talk about this. We'll talk about what's going to go down at the Sabine River and anything else that is involved in bass fishing. All right, Gary, there it is right there. That's my one mistake I've made today. What does that say? The game will begin in a few minutes. I got the wrong graphic queued up.
We're going to do it all over again.
All right, here, I got to end. See there? All right.
There we go.
I got the right graphic.
There
all right,
we
everybody,
go.
thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support, and congratulations, Jeff Kriet. Gary, nice job today. Everybody, stay tuned for more. We're out of here.